Will Fanatics allow sports betting to fully take over the sports card hobby as we move forward? I think this is an important topic, not really talked about enough. Let's dig into it. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. Another day, another card video. Thank you very much for joining me again here today. It's a sunny day outside. How are we feeling?
I feel pretty good too. I think I finally got some sleep. I don't know why, I just feel pretty good.
If you're new here looking for almost daily sports card collectible style content, friends, you have come to the right place, and we know that your family is tired of hearing you talk about cards. They just don't care, Gerald. They don't care. Thanks for joining us. Also, don't forget to connect with me on IG at SportsCardDad, and I'm also on Twitter, the SportsCardDad. Also, can't forget to give a big shout out to channel sponsor ComC.com is your home for buying, selling, and flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace is home to over 29 million cards across all sports, genres, and eras. With a ComC.com account, you can purchase cards from different sellers over time and ship them home together later, or immediately reprice them for sale on the ComC marketplace. Make sure to check out ComC.com. All right, so let's dig into sports betting, Fanatics, sports cards. What does it mean as we kind of move forward? And I've been paying attention to this quite a bit. The NFL has a deal with DraftKings in place. And I just read earlier also ESPN, which is owned by Disney, also has a deal that is finalizing with DraftKings as well. DraftKings is one of the big fantasy, kind of that daily fantasy sports betting type apps. And how daily fantasy works is it's just every week, you put in, there's different pots. So there might be a $2 entry fee. There might be a $10 entry. There might be a $500 entry, and the prize winnings, of course, go up as the entry price goes up. And it's one of those things, you pick players for that week. If they perform really well stats wise, and you have a chance to win, and there's first, second, third place, and so forth. It is difficult to win. I've entered into some of those DraftKings things before, but only done, $2 entry, $3 entry type thing. So nothing crazy, but it is fun. It's absolutely fun. And so I do understand why people do kind of that weekly fantasy, daily fantasy stuff. I also just do a regular old fantasy football league. But again, that's over the course of a season. It's a $30 buy-in or $50 buy-in for the season. Good time, no big deal. But I was kind of disappointed. Actually, one of my kind of childhood heroes, still a hero actually, I met him at the National, Barry Sanders, and to me, greatest running back of all time.
43-yard line, and it's Barry Sanders trying to take advantage of a slight opening, and he breaks it, and he'll go all the way. Touchdown!
As far as just skill level goes, his stats they certainly up there. He retired after, I think, 10 seasons. So I know Emmitt Smith holds the record for most yards, but Emmitt also played about twice as long as Barry did. But just from an excitement standpoint, Barry Sanders and Bo Jackson were the most exciting running backs going back to 89, 90, 91. And Barry was in a recent commercial, and I think it was DraftKings. It might have been a different company, but basically the gist of the commercial was he was joking about, hey, I'm placing a bet on this or that. What do you think about this game or that game or whatever? And to me, it was just kind of like, man, sports betting has become so normalized in culture and becoming more and more so that way. It's the same with, Michael Rubin. We've talked about it. He sold his stake in the 76ers because of the fact that it is a conflict of interest to own a part of a franchise, an NBA franchise, and then also be operating on the sports betting side. If you're really rolling that out into Fanatics and that being a big part of your business from an optics standpoint, it just looks absolutely terrible. And so he opted to sell off his share of the 76ers to be able to really expand that out in Fanatics. So when I saw that headline, it's like, what does that mean for us in the sports card space? And really, if we're looking at kind of the sports betting element, breaking really is what kind of falls into the sports betting side as far as I'm concerned. You enter into a break, you buy into a certain team or teams, and then you're able to get those cards out of that particular break. And so that is kind of the sports betting element of sports cards. But, there's also a sports betting element in the sense that, you're picking a certain player you're buying singles of that you think is going to have a great season ahead. And so you're getting in on that player early, hopefully to where the prices go up during the season or after, or it turns into the next Joe Montana or whatever. And that's where you can get gains on those buys. So, but I'm a little concerned about the distribution moving forward. It's no secret that Fanatics is moved on from GTS for certain aspects of their distribution and other distributors. Fanatics is really kind of focused more the way that Michael Rubin has talked. It's direct to consumer as far as the way that they run their business. And you can see that that's probably going to be the main line of distribution for sports cards as we move forward over the next couple of years when they really kind of fully take over things. And so, they can get kind of creative, as far as how they're going to do that. Is it going to be that all of the new product coming out is broken or a large percentage of it, is gone through approved Fanatics breakers, and that is really the only way that you can get new product? I would hope that there's more of a retail option as well. But, again, it probably is going to break down depending on product by product. The high end products, you're going to have to get into breaks for those. Are you not going to have the opportunity to buy, a $3,000 box of National Treasures? It's just going to be, hey, buy into the breaks, and that's how you're able to get the cards or get them on the secondary market. And look, I do understand if hobby boxes for a particular product are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and you have the opportunity to get Dallas Cowboys cards in a huge case break, and it costs you far less, then that sort of thing makes sense. If you're collecting Dallas Cowboys cards for National Treasures, let's say 2024 product, there's certain instances where I think breaking makes a lot of sense. But there's also just a lot of folks that are looking to hit the logo man, that are spending a ton of money trying to hit the big hits. And it's just like with anything else. I look at breaks as really no different than going to Vegas. You're at Caesar's Palace and you're sitting at the blackjack table. You've got a certain set of odds to win, certain set of odds to lose. And of course, there's strategy and so forth attached to it. But the main reality is that most of the folks are going to lose with a few that are going to win. And of course, there is a fun element to that. And I've actually talked to, just trying to wrap my head around, because I'm not a gambler in that sense, meaning that I've been to Vegas 3 or 4 times in my life. I've never spent 1 cent on a slot machine or anything else. People think that's absolutely nuts, but I'm just not into the gambling scene. I like watching other people. I like kind of the strategy behind poker and different things. I like watching that. Pro poker players are really intriguing to me. The different strategy that goes into card games and so forth. But I don't look at this as really any different than just straight gambling on other things, or just placing some sort of a bet on a game. We're betting, are the Saints going to cover this week, or are they not going to cover, or whatever? Are we just kind of moving in that direction, which it makes me a little bit nervous, especially as we head into kind of like the unexpected economic times, personal finance and everyone trying to just kind of get their finances in order. And of course, massive credit card debt that's out there as well. That's really kind of the last thing that I hope, for people. It's kind of like the tobacco industry. Tobacco is legal in the United States. We as individuals are the ones that are choosing, are we going to buy that product at all? Are we going to, maybe we'll get it every once in a while, I'll have 1 or 2 cigarettes here and there, or are we going to smoke a pack a day? That is our choice as individuals. And so part of the reason why I make this particular video, I've got 4 kids that range from 7 to 19 years old. And I don't really want if that's kind of what society is approved of, if we've kind of moved into a space where, hey, sports betting is mainstream because big business is able to do it, regulations have loosened up. And look, businesses are in business to make money. I don't fault a Fanatics. I don't fault breakers, for doing this. This is part of, they're offering a service, and that's it. Businesses are in business to make money. If they want to be charitable, if they want to do this, that, or whatever, as long as they're following the rules, then all is fine. That's just what businesses are supposed to do. They're supposed to make money. And so, but we as the individuals are going to choose which companies that we're going to do business with. When I see, ESPN has got a big deal closing in with DraftKings, that's a big medium that's going to be then running commercials. That's going to be promoting here and there. And they're owned by Disney. Are we going to go to the Disney theme park and be able to bet on whether Goofy is going to be the next one up on stage? Is that going to be our norm moving forward? Because if big business is really getting in and buying into it, and there is a lot of money to be made, it's just a little bit concerning. And like I said, I've got 4 kids, and I don't know if I want that to be kind of their reality, is like, hey, this is kind of the norm. Let's throw a bet in on this game or that game or whatever, because it can turn into a thing. It can be an addictive type thing and then when you get behind, then all of a sudden your bookie's calling you and whatever else. To me, it just sounds like a disaster. And so for the hobby, of course, this stuff is going to be available. Braking is not going anywhere. And braking, I think, in the sense of what it actually is, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think the people that do it are bad people. They're offering a service, but you are the one that's going to sit down and choose to, buy into a break every now and again because you're having fun with your buddies, or if you're going to put your entire paycheck into breaks. That's the stuff I think that we've really got to have more discussion around, and just as an industry as well. I kind of wish that as an industry that was kind of a little bit more of a hotter topic. The industry as a whole is very quick to celebrate big hits, logo man hit, but they're not quick to talk about, how much money was spent on this particular break. And then, okay, so this one person made out really well and these other 50 got absolutely slaughtered. More disclosure, transparency, that sort of thing. Actually, if there is a YouTube channel, some sort of channel, maybe it already exists, but something breaking down breaking strategy, for people that have gotten in, and also just talking about the losses as well. What's been your overall experience? Someone that's doing a lot of breaking, I think if they started a YouTube channel and just talked about their experiences through the breaks, wins, losses, and all the rest of it, I think that would be fascinating content, especially as, the breaking world expands, as that becomes a bigger part of the sports card hobby. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. And again, I know a lot of people are going to say, Dustin, you're no fun. This is a really fun part of my hobby experience. I'm not saying that it should go away. All I'm saying is just that I think that there should be a little bit more of an understanding of what we're getting into when spending a lot of money on break spots, and maybe different strategies around it, just more discussion around it, I think would be best. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.